We have been studying heaven's hospitality, and we have been examining Bible stories through the lens of the ethics that was used in biblical Middle East. The 5 ethics that we will use as our lens as we examine our story today are: were they communal? Were they generous? Were they sacrificial? Did they welcome the presence of God? And did they welcome the plan of God? Today's story is 2 Kings 5, and I love this story because we have kings, we have a commander, we have a slave girl, we have servants, and we will discover that those that are in high places sometimes get it right, but sometimes they don't. And we will also discover that sometimes servants and slaves, people in low places, they get it right, but sometimes they don't. One of the things that I have really enjoyed this whole study on this series of biblical ethics of hospitality is that really a person's age, position doesn't matter. It seems like some of us get it and some of us don't. And so as you listen to 2 Kings 5 today, why don't you see what happens with the people as the story unfolds? In the Bible, we are told that Naaman was a commander of the army in Aram. And he was so respected and honored by his king because God had given him victory in their land when they went to battle. He was known as a valiant warrior. But one thing was wrong. He had a skin disease. Some invaders from the Aram nation had gone out and brought back slaves, and one slave girl was the servant of Naaman's wife. And one day she said to her mistress, "I wish our master would go to Samaria to the man of God, because if he did, he could heal him of his skin disease." Well, Naaman went to the king and he told him what the servant girl had said. And the king of Aram said, "Well, you need to go, and I will send you a letter." So Naaman gathered up 750 pounds of silver, 150 pounds of gold, 10 sets of clothes, and the king's letter, and he went to the king of Israel. And he handed the king the letter. When the king read the letter, he tore his clothes because the letter said, "I have sent you this man, and I want you to heal him of his skin disease." And he ripped his royal robes and said, "Who does he think I'm God? Can I kill and bring back to life? What is he trying to do? Is he trying to start a fight with me?" Well, Naaman, the prophet of God, had heard about the king tearing his robes, and he sent a message to the king. And he said, "Send the man to me, and I will show him that there is a prophet in Israel." So Naaman went to the house of the prophet of God, Elisha. And when he arrived, Elisha sent out a servant to give him the message. And the servant said, "I want you to go to the river of Jordan, dip 7 times, and your skin will be healed and you will be clean." Naaman was furious. "What? Are you kidding me? I thought he would at least come out to greet me. At least he would look at my skin and wave his hands and pray to his God. What is wrong with the rivers in Damascus? They're cleaner than the rivers in Israel. Why can't I go there and wash myself?" And he just stormed off angry. Well, 2 servants went to Naaman, and they said to him, "You know, we honor you as a father. If this man of God had asked you to do something great, wouldn't you have done it? How much more so for something so simple as wash and be clean?" So Naaman went to the Jordan River, and he dipped himself 7 times and did exactly what the man of God had told him to do. And when he came out, his skin was like a young boy. He immediately went to Elisha's house and said to him, "I know now that the God of Israel is the one true God, and I will only bow to him. I shall not bow to any other God. Would you please accept this gift from your servant?" Well, the man of God, Elisha, said to him, "I am a servant of the Lord, and you will know he surely lives, but I will not accept your gift." And even though Naaman tried to get him to accept it, he refused. So Naaman ended up saying, "I can tell you're not going to accept my gifts, but would you do this for me? Would you please allow me some soil from this land and 2 donkeys that I can take to carry it back, so that I only bow to the Lord and to no other God? But this one thing I ask you, when I have to go into the temple of my king and he bows before his god Rimmon, I have to bow with him because he holds to my elbow. Would I please be forgiven of this?" And the man of God said to him, "Go in peace." Well, as Naaman had traveled out some, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, was in his home, and he was thinking, "Elisha let that Aramean get away with so much. He should have taken his gifts. I'm going to go after him, and I'm going to get some." So Gehazi hurried off after Naaman. And when he got close, Naaman saw him and immediately got out of his chariot, and he said, "Is everything okay?" And Gehazi said to him, "Everything is okay. But my master has sent to me because we have some prophets from Ephraim that have shown up. Would you please give us 2 sets of clothes and 75 pounds of silver?" Well, Naaman said, "Take 150 pounds. And he even gave him 2 servants so that the servants could load it on their donkey and carry it ahead for Gehazi. And so Gehazi, when he got back to the hill, he unloaded everything and he took it into his house, and he sent the servants on their way. And then he went into the house of Elisha. And Elisha said, "Gehazi, where have you been?" And he said, "I haven't been anywhere." And he said, "Gehazi, don't you know that my spirit was with you? I saw him get out of his chariot when you pulled up. Is this the time to receive gold or silver or clothes or vineyards or grain or male slaves or female slaves? I tell you, you and your descendants will have the very skin disease that Naaman had." And right there in front of Naaman, Gehazi's skin turned as white as snow. May God honor the telling of his word. I told you it's a great story. It's crazy. I want you to think about the fact that that little slave girl was an unwilling missionary. And even though she was a slave in that land and the commander was the person she was under, she still told what she knew about God and allowed the glory to go to God. That's something worth thinking about, don't you think? Be in the Word, be with Jesus, and be transformed. Shalom, y'all.